This episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace. Today on TRS, we check out Marvel's new #1 comics, Spider-Man and X-Men.
Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about comics a lot more frequently because of the awesome DC New 52 initiative where they've relaunched their entire universe with all new #1s. And there are a lot more of those happening this week. A great one, Supergirl, came out last week. This week we got all kinds of crazy stuff happening. The new Superman, all kinds of stuff. And we're gonna tap into more of that in the coming weeks. But Marvel, the other big two publisher, is not without its own big relaunch of #1s. They've had a few, excuse me, they've had a few in recent weeks. They've had, or recent months. They had a new Daredevil #1 with Mark Waid. They had a new Punisher #1 with Greg Rucka. But I think the most interesting and kind of the most controversial is what they're doing with the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate Universe, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Spider-Man were comics that a few years ago were introduced to sort of give people a clean slate, access to characters without the encumbrance of all of that
Which
continuity.
is some of the stuff that we talked about on the show, and it's a great access port into the Marvel Universe.
Exactly, and if you want to pick up those old trades, some of the best Spider-Man stories, in my opinion, the Bendis has been writing for years now. But the universe, when it had a major crossover event just recently, and they are starting over with brand new #1s, the new Ultimate Comics, they're calling it now. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man #1 came out a couple weeks ago, and last week the new Ultimate Comics X-Men came out. Those are the two comics we're going to talk about. Let's start with Spider-Man, because I think that's the most sort of big deal. Mainstream media covered it.
Yeah.
Bendis had a really amazing
So now this is
run.
The killing of Peter Parker and this new Spider-Man is in the Ultimates universe. So that's
Right.
not in the main thread of Spider-Man.
Not in the 616.
That was not clear when they were doing all the hosty Good Morning Americas
interesting.
at all. Because I was like, wow, that is ballsy.
Yeah.
And then when it was like Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man 1, I was like, oh, it's Ultimate Spider-Man? That's not nearly as ballsy as main Spider-Man.
Still pretty ballsy, I would say. And
Sure.
of course, I highly recommend people picking up the trades that have been released of that last run right before the killing of Peter Parker. It's some of the best storytelling I've ever read. It's really, really great. But so now we've got this new Spider-Man. So the first issue is the introduction of, what's his name?
Miles
Morales, right. The new Spider-Man, Black Spider-Man. He's got a completely different history than Peter Parker has. And we see the first issue of that. Now, when Ultimate Spider-Man was first introduced, it famously took Bendis quite a few issues to get Peter Parker even into the costume. It was that expanded storytelling that they've kind of gotten heat and praise for in equal measure. Alex,
Yeah.
We've only got one issue so far of the new Spider-Man, but what did you think of what Bendis and Sarah Pichelli are doing with this character?
I loved it. I loved it. I was surprised. With some of the stuff that we saw with the Batman one and Superman one, Action Comics and all these other DC #1s, it's so straight into the fire as if nothing, you know what I mean? That I want a little bit of an origin story, you know what I mean? Now this is obviously
origin of a new
different
guy.
because it's an origin of a new guy, and I get that. But I think that there would have been a way for them to give me this type of story in a #1 where you're really meeting this character. And even if it was, you're meeting Batman and you're in the Batcave and you know it's Batman and but how is this Batman different? How is where is my attachment to this Bruce Wayne in the suit? Give me that before he's jumping through walls and crashing through things and meeting other superheroes. It all happens so fast. Whereas with this, you know what's gonna happen and you're watching this. I was shocked at how young they made him. I mean,
Well,
he's
Ultimate Spider-Man
very
is very young too. Ultimate Spider-Man started out high school kid, just like Miles.
Miles is not. I mean, this is elementary school we're talking about.
Well,
The
I don't think
lottery
they-
stuff, the charter stuff, all happens elementary school. I don't think
Is that
that that's
elementary school?
high school stuff.
I thought it was high
I was
school.
thinking it was like 6th, 7th grade,
know.
which seems very young.
Maybe it's junior high. It's like Kevin Art. Like it's like 7th grade.
Yeah,
middle
7th
school.
grade. But
Yeah.
7th grade,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
younger.
that's 13.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know what I
freshman in
mean?
high
Like,
school.
yeah, that's like,
It did seem
or
younger.
12. So, but I was really excited about that because that's one of the things that I loved about the Spider-Man character is, you know, you have all of this ability, but you're still just a kid. How is that? And now he's even more of a kid. I mean, he's like, you know, a freaking
I'm
kid.
not entirely sure we're correct on that, but well.
Well, either way, I got
do you
that.
think
vibe.
he's different enough from Peter Parker?
We'll see. We'll find out. I mean, he's not the sort of nerd, you know, jocks beating up
It
on him
didn't
kinda
open
kid.
with
He
him
was
in
more
high
of a-
school and Jocks walking down the hallway and
Exactly.
pushing him into a locker.
Exactly.
We didn't see that.
No, we saw a guy who's trying to raise up from outside of his, you know, I think doing having him do the lottery thing with the. I mean, it's so much richer backstory to mine.
Well, that's impersonal.
Dan.
Dan, noted Bendis fan.
B and
sure you
B
love this.
bitches. That's right. This is how you do it, folks. This is how you do it. Loved it. Loved it. There's character. There's character development. There's a great hook at the end. I was hooked. Surprise moment of surprise. A wonderful layout on the page. And a great story. And
The art
just
is
phenomenal.
beautiful,
The
isn't
art
it?
is great. The art is great.
What do you think of the new Spider-Man costume? I mean, we don't see it in the context of the book, but on the cover we do.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I was just
is it? I thought
Black.
the thing that we in the beginning where we see a guy sneaking around.
No.
not that.
No, the cover of the cover.
Yeah, I kind of saw that.
It's
I read
very
digitally,
Spider-Man-y.
so I went right past the cover, and I had to stare at the cover. So yeah, no, I didn't really. I don't have a takeaway. I don't want to comment because I don't really know. I can sort of see what you're saying, but
But I think it's great, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to see more too. We should move on to Ultimate X-Men.
and by the way, love that he's either Hispanic or black. I don't know what he is, but he's not white.
Yeah,
kid. I mean,
yeah.
and it works.
and it's a bold,
so
it's
well.
a bold choice because you have white creators writing. You know, so
Yeah. Sure.
you know
But-
sometimes you
Can be
offensive.
touchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think it's a bold choice, and I applaud Marvel for doing it. And I hope that this isn't it doesn't feel like it's a temporary Spider-Man. It feels like
no.
the thing that they decided with the Ultimate Universe is rather than retelling all those stories, like sort of the
Yeah.
Ultimate Universe was like, let's wipe the slate clean, but let's keep the characters we all know.
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than retell those
Now
things.
they're like, forget
Now
that.
it's like we have this opportunity to go in a completely new way.
And I think it was good how they came, the MacGuffin of why there would be another kid who got bit by a spider.
Yeah, it ties in.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To wit, talking
wit.
about taking things in a new direction, we
boy.
have a bold new direction with the Ultimate X-Men comic, Ultimate Comics X-Men, I should say. So the big deal here is that in the Ultimate Universe, the mutant gene, which is the conceit around which all of the X characters are drawn, is man-created. So it's not something that you're just born with, like in all the other books, which has been used in a lot of for many years as a metaphor for other things. Now we have man having created the mutant gene. That becomes public knowledge, and so all the mutants are forced underground, and it becomes a very complex issue among the characters. And we have a new X-Men book with new creators, and we have even a non-X character as one of the main characters. We have the Human Torch. We have Johnny Storm, who is getting a lot of play in the Ultimate Universe because he was killed off in 616. But we have him, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman as our main characters. Kitty Pryde having had all those characters having major roles in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe up to now. So Dan, tell me what you think of this. Very different, right? Because now we have really just a sort of context issue. It's just showing you different shots of the world before we even see any kind of major character moments.
Well, sort of. Even Joss Whedon, whose altar I bow at, did not get me into the X-Men. This comic has got me into the X-Men. I thought it was incredible. I have one major problem with it, but I thought it was incredible. Yes, in lesser hands, this story that you just sort of basically laid out in basic terms could have been portrayed in matter-of-factness, in typical comic book form, and like, here's what's happening, hey, Soups, what's up, da-da-da-da-da, you know, whatever.
Newsies.
But this starts.
Hey, Soups, what's going on?
But this starts
fun.
out in one of the most darkest scenes I've ever read in a superhero book. And it's a human moment, it's a character moment, and it is, and so that brings me to my only flaw, is that the art style does not match the content, does not match
Paco
the
Medina is
writing.
the artist, Nick Spencer the writer.
The writing
why do you
is
say
so
that?
character-oriented and dark, very dark, and human, and the art style just feels fluffy and bright, and I don't just mean
Comic
like
booky.
tonally. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, right. I did like there's some like computer-styled like soft focusing, which I like, but for background elements. But it should have felt more cinematic. The art style, I think it could have felt. It could have felt like, I didn't love the art of Scalped, but it just could have been more unique. It felt like the same kind of art that was happening in any of the DC books we read, and even in the Spider-Man book, and it wasn't that kind of story. It didn't feel like that kind of story to me. It didn't feel like the story that was being written.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I thought this was great. And Dan's right, man. The beginning of this book, it really gets you. And the fact that they turn the whole universe on its head by saying, now it's not, and they cover it so well, the response of people, the how that affects the emotional impact of all of the different mutants and what that means about them and their life and their existence and all that stuff is really cool stuff. And there's kind of a cool little like underground sort of war being waged, and very interested to see where they take it.
Yeah.
Because is it gonna be sort of now humans versus mutants? I mean, that has been mined a lot, but now is it, who's the enemy in this? Because we don't know yet. Right now it's sort of the government, kind of, but it's like, I don't know if there's enough there to be mutants versus the U.S.
Clearly,
government.
it seems like they're going to be anti-heroes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But how does that play out? Where are the villains that come out? How does that work? I mean, clearly there was some notion of Magneto having doing a huge attack on New York City.
Well, that's what set up this whole new Ultimate World.
Yeah,
This big event that happened.
So I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too. And I think we're all on the same page that
Marvel
loving-
fanboy from way back.
Marvel Zombie from way back,
Yeah.
indeed. And it's hard not to compare what's happening here with the DC stuff, because they've done such a great job of cleaning the slate, having a fresh start, but not ignoring all of the stuff that we know and love about these characters. I mean, these new number ones come right out of all of the stuff that happened in the Ultimate Universe. The fact that you see Kitty Pryde get into that red costume, like she was in a big part of Peter Parker's life, and the promise of these of this universe being very tightly controlled and tightly packed, and having lots of crossovers among characters, and making everything meaningful in a very small playground is so exciting.
Yeah, it's cool.
And they have this new concept at Marvel, the Marvel Architects, and really kind of trying to tightly knit everything. And I think it's so exciting, and really great storytelling and great premises, and just throwing the rule book out the window and going, we have 12 Spider-Man books.
Yeah.
Here's a new Spider-Man. We have 14 X-Men books.
Yeah.
Here's a new take on the entire concept of mutants.
Yeah.
And by the way, and that X-Men book is not an origin story.
No.
Right.
Like, but you still have that, like.
But it feels like
Yeah,
that. That's how you can
exactly.
start. You're
Yep.
feeling like you're meeting these
Yep.
people for the first time.
Yep.
Bingo, bango.
Yeah. So, good stuff.
Read both. Ultimate Comics.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for all the lovely outtakes from this week's episodes. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Squarespace, aka Squarespace. It really is the easiest and fastest way to create a high-quality blog, portfolio, website, whatever. It's a fully hosted, takes care of all the tricky details of getting your site online. There's nothing to download, nothing to install, absolutely nothing to set up. You choose from a wide variety of professionally designed templates out of the box, then you go and customize with this amazing point-and-click WYSIWYG editor. Unbelievable. Squarespace comes with a huge variety of page types, from blogs, galleries, contact forms, whatever. You can just snap them together, any configuration, build the site that you want. Squarespace also comes with great social integration. There's a Twitter widget, a Flickr widget, all that stuff built right into the system. Slideshows if you want to add galleries, easy breezy.
Awesome.
Plus, if you have any questions or need any help, you can go, hey, how do I get that to work with a ding dong ding? They have amazing 24/7 customer support. Always someone there to answer your questions in minutes. Check it out, squarespace.com. You get a 2-week free trial and 10% off if you just enter the coupon code TRS9 when you check out. 9.
I had a thought while you were talking
Yeah?
about the point and click.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
in the era of Kinect type devices, in our
Ooh.
Minority Report era, do you
Mm-hmm.
think somebody with the SDK, now that they have the SDK out, should have a point and click device for the Kinect where you're like, you point and click?
I thought you were
clicker
gonna. I
now.
thought you were gonna talk about doing
else do you click?
a video of somebody creating an amazing
Pressing
website
something?
using Squarespace using the Kinect.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
Yeah,
And much more on topic.
sort of on topic.
Stay on topic.
We'll see
like-
you next week. Alright, people. People. Alright, yeah, pues.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Everybody not making voices?
Oh yeah. I'm hungry. All right, everybody, stick around, you fuckers. Don't know what happened there. Here we go.
I don't either.
Here we go. Just building out the outtakes. We're all wearing jeans. Let's go.
Hang on, let me actually flip it and do.
Hello. Oh, I thought you were gonna show it.
Show some.
Let me just show them my nipple real fast, real quick. Just
Tell me what it
Just
looks like.
just for a
What's it
second.
look like? How's it look on camera?
Yeah. I'll take my
Does it look
shirt off.
heavier?
We need a quick white balance.
white balance. Large fly.
Hey-o! Ta-ta-ta, to work with a ding-dong. Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Bam.
Bam.
And whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Hada hada hada.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!